I got a job. I just got a job in soft engineering this Friday, which pays quite well. And I just showed, I doesn't, way, pioneer, I, I finished uni in 2019 and was interning last year, and since June, I have been basically searching for positions. After applying for 500 positions, I got my first offer, which I am very grateful for. I was mainly looking for something much more commercial in general, as coming from an engineering background, I don't want to be in engineering forever. So I am thinking of taking this offer as it pays well, while continuing the search for jobs better suited to me. Thus, if I find something that suits me better, I could easily leave and join another company, as I am quite young. What do you guys think? My dream job, final interview tomorrow, man. I hope I make it. I have been unemployed for almost 8 months already. It's 200 anyway. Congrats, my friend. Good luck, man. I have the same situation. Well, I feel you, my friend. Keep it going, no point in giving up actually. 10-year recruiter here. Can I help you? How many interviews have you had for this position? Is it a publicly traded company? Usually the final interview is just a formality. They want to make sure you are a good team player, aren't crazy, and can have good rapport with managers. Easy stuff. Just be yourself and remember, a sense of humor goes far, very far. Good luck. It's so freaking nerve-wracking. Good luck, man. I had an interview 2 days ago as well for a position I really want. Wishing the best. Congrats, wishing you the best. I can't wait for my day to come where I can post a similar thing. I agree with you, keep this one. You don't know what this one could bring in the future. You were smart to continue looking for the next best thing. I was watching an interview from the creator of Dilbert, and he said he knew a guy who always did interviews, even if he was overqualified, because it was good practice and he was always looking to move on to something better. Eventually he did land something better, so not getting too comfortable or putting all your eggs in one basket seems like the smart thing to do. Amen. I'd be afraid of wasting the company's time. Like, what if they like you and give you an offer? Lol, I'd only interview if I truly wanted to work somewhere. Here is what I would do in your situation. I wouldn't continue to look right away. I would spend the first 6 months learning everything that I can at this position. Don't just learn your job, learn how it relates to others in the organization, and learn as much as you can about what they do. See what you think works well in the corporate environment and what doesn't. You can learn from both good employees and bad. Maybe after doing this, you will have some insight into your long-term goals that may differ from what you currently think. After 6 months, you could start tailoring your resume geared toward what you are most interested in, and you would now have some experience to back it up. The job market might be a bit better in 6 months, and you will be in a good position at that point. But anyway, congratulations on the job. Yes, I like this idea actually. I mean, I am just gonna do the rest of the interviews I have now, as they keep on coming on a weekly basis, and after, if I honestly get something better, I would change. But I don't think I will apply to any new jobs because next winter at least. Congratulations. I'm sure that feels great after filling out 500 applications. Congratulations and all the best. Posts like these really motivate me to keep applying and push through. Push though, you can't give up actually. It took me hundreds of applications to get where I am right now, which is a better position than where I was 6 months ago. Just because it doesn't seem like your dream job doesn't mean you won't enjoy it. I got a warehouse job in October. I was desperate and needed to pay bills. Turns out, I really enjoy this job, and the people I work with can be tiring and frustrating at times, but I can tell you I will never go back to retail. Regardless, hope everything works out for you. No, don't get me wrong. I think it is a pretty cool job, I am just a bit hesitant because it is very technical. Congressman, software engineer is my dream job, but unfortunately where I live there's only maybe 10 or so places that hire them, so likely a bad idea to go for the degree. Maybe you can move to another area for a job, or are there circumstances preventing you from moving elsewhere? Congratulations on the offer. I'm going to disagree with some folks here and say that if you don't plan on staying at the job for at least a year or two, you probably should keep looking for one you are more suited for. Hiring and training take a lot of resources, and if you leave after 3-8 months, not only will you massively burn bridges, but that is a waste of your time and the company's time, money, resources. Having a new person aboard is a drain. Someone's training you, spending time they could be doing their actual work, showing you the ropes, and you've taken a position that could have been filled by someone who wants to be there long term. If the company is in the same industry you plan on staying in, people remember that stuff, and usually everyone knows one another. I know you need to do what works for your life, but going into a new job knowing you probably won't be there for a good amount of time just screws over everyone, including you, in the long run, and it's not a great look. That being said, people leave jobs at all stages and time frames, so the company will continue to run when you leave, and it won't be the end of the world. But it's probably not how you want to make a name for yourself when entering a new industry. Both my thumbs are in an upward position, and my heart wishes you all the best. I'm tired of being shamed for having less than jobs. I have a college degree, and initially when I first got it, I didn't have one experience or two, a car to get to my job. So I walked to work at Walmart. And now each time when I apply for jobs, I always get asked, so you worked at Walmart? Why is that? Or a general, that's weird kind of thought. So what was I supposed to do? Sit home and collect unemployment? I'm so sick of the mentality of I'm too good for that job that so many college graduates seem to have. There's no shame in work. Any work. All work has dignity, even working at Walmart. Tell the haters to go pound sand. Like I always say, work is work. Throwaway 73,622 6 hours ago. Word 44. Reply, share, report, save. Worked at Target. The trick is to read over the job posting and pick out what hard and soft skills you learned at Walmart that would carry over to your new job. Things like time management, customer service, conflict resolution, team delegation, risk management, point of sales, or troubleshooting technology are just examples. This is excellent advice. I agree with this, and another way to describe it may be job deconstruction, or taking any job position and figuring out what percentage of each day the tasks you performed were. Was customer service 15, time management 5, handling customer returns 10. Even really deciding what each task was called may take time, or how it fit into the role you were filling. A next hint. What did the employer call this role? What was their exact official job description, and what keywords can you pick out from that job description? Are the keywords industry standard for retail jobs, or was Target doing their own thing with the description? Next hint. If the keywords are individually searchable and bring back results, they may be standard. If the keywords bring back nothing when searched, what does this tell you? Either Target was doing their own thing in describing the job, or maybe there really are no similar competitive job listings to be found anywhere at this time. There are tons of things to be learned in every job position, and one of our jobs as employees is to learn what everything is called while in these roles. Learn everything you can and squeeze that lemon of a job for all it is worth. Go get you some knowledge. Any coworker who sat in a break room doing nothing on their smartphone for 15 minutes. The thing that I've found that interviewers want to see is some sort of coherent narrative that builds a sort of personal story of your professional life, and that the narrative supports the notion that they're rehiring someone who is in control of their situation. So, ideally, you don't want to bring up that it was the job that was available, so I took it, because it sounds like you're out of control of your circumstances. Instead, they want some through line or reason that suggests it was a conscientious choice that either supports your career or training. It helps if you can tie it as presence on your resume to whatever you were applying to. So, instead of I took the job because it is what is around, maybe shoot for something like, I worked at Walmart because it provided a flexible schedule for me to pursue my education and training. I'm guessing you studied something relating to social work. From what you've posted before, but you might be able to tie working at Walmart with being able to understand the perspective of prospective clients if you were applying to work for a social services organization or a practice that works on a sliding scale. All the while, at least in my experience, it is sort of a classist carryover, but the new job paid more money is kind of a rude answer for those sorts of responses, despite the reality that it is part of the control of one's professional life narrative. It goes back to the sort of upper-class idea that money isn't a problem, so it is not a pursuit unto itself, despite it being a complete farce. I hope that maybe that helps. I've been in a similar spot, especially when I was first starting off, and it is frustrating. Though in my case, I was mostly mocked by coworkers for going into debt for that fancy degree. Now I'm making more than you, or having our people at those places snub me because I had the degree. They wanted non-degreed people because they weren't a threat. In my case, I posed the threat that I would take a job in my field once I got the chance, while people without degrees would have to put up with them. Something I found kind of empowering. Even people who tell a coherent narrative about their career are full of shit. I have a great narrative. I have worked in my field, going from a broad application into a specific area, and now I'm considered an expert. But it is not like each move was planned. It was a lot of luck, a lot of varied experiences, and when I tell a story, I always pick out those experiences that support the story. I have never been a manager, but I can tell a narrative of my roles that paint me in a leadership role. I have never been an analyst, but I can tell a narrative of my roles as if I had been hired specifically to crunch numbers. Look at what the job is looking for, then highlight the experiences that give you this narrative. What do you tell them when they ask why you left your last job? Literally, the only reason I left was for higher pay. Me too, my friend. Me too. Degree holding, yet working as a TA at an elementary school. How did you end up as a TA? I got my BS in business last June, but can't find any work, and being a TA for an elementary school sounds fun. Den and Tranger 9 Sevendic 44 Nors ago, seriously so upsetting. What is your degree in? Mine is psychology, so essentially useless. You were supposed to get a $100 loan from your parents to start an indie business. Yeah, I get shamed by my parents and older people who work at my job. I came from a developing country where classism was a thing. We were always told that in the West, there's honor in work, whether or not you worked at Walmart or at an office job. Moving here and going to school here taught me what a crock of shit that was. What reason do you give them? I think your reasons are totally valid. Sometimes you just need money and you were constrained by your geography. But I think their question is also valid. They want to get to know you better. They want to know why you made certain decisions. My first job was in a totally different field from what I studied, and I often get asked why I chose it. And I just shrug and say I needed a job. It has worked for me. Needed to make payments on my student loan as well as rent. Everyone's like, but Walmart orc's job wouldn't pay that off. Yeah, but it helps pay some of it, doesn't it? I spent 6 years as an educator. I wasn't a teacher or your typical admin staff. I was essentially a daycare worker. That position, I learned training skills, time management, interpersonal skills, public speaking, and have many stories that would perfectly fit into a STAR interview model. I spent some time in management with the role as well and learned budget management, curriculum development, and staff management. For years, I wasn't considered a reasonable candidate for a sales position or trainer or manager, no matter how many places I applied to. It took some time, but eventually I found a career path that was willing to take a chance on me. I know it is hard, but you will get there eventually. America is a very crooked and corrupt country. Feel no shame in working any job you have to till you can. I have a bachelor's degree in business and have seen people with liberal arts degrees and the right complexion for the connection get jobs in industry who have no leadership skills or work ethic. Don't pay attention to the pretentious scum that run this country. Don't feel badly about any job that you've taken. I know some incredibly entitled people who would refuse to work unless it's a specific job that makes amount of money per year. As a former representative, I would always hire the people that took the entry-level jobs because it showed me that they were willing to start from the bottom to work their way up. It would also tell me that they were willing to put priority over pride. All this is awesome to hear. And we must know the same people, haha. My best friend lives with her mother at age 35 and has a huge credit card debt she can't pay off because she's not willing to work less than jobs which she deems not worthy of her time, even though the local factory is hiring at $18 short starting. She instead complains that she has to live with her mom, and her mom won't allow her to have a dog. That is awful that you have been treated that way. Seriously, I applaud you for working wherever you were able to find employment and getting yourself there without a car. So many people wouldn't do that. Keep on keeping on. Do not let people make you feel ashamed. That is the. And also, if I were you, I would try to think of a way to respond. Speak about how their evident behavior in judging you for having that position is addressed in a way that is not like what they are doing to you, so not shaming, unkind, or aggressive. Not coming from a place of wanting to get back at them, but calls out that they are effectively being behaved, thus judging you and the quality of your candidacy for a position, and quite honestly probably violating you. Based on their discriminating against you for working for Walmart. Perhaps ask to speak to her representative or their direct supervisor, even get the email for the executive assistant of the CEO head of the company. Then I'd also your former Walmart supervisor and even consider contacting and keying executive leadership at Walmart. Bring this behavior to the attention of your interviewer's leadership and to the attention of Walmart. Be diplomatic, base everything on purely factual, well-documented information without any emotive language use or embellishment, and let people know you want to work. You are a high-quality candidate and you see their bias, and it's not okay. Don't give up. Don't be shamed. You will find a position. It takes sometimes hundreds of applications for all types of people with all types of backgrounds, but if you are able to call this out in a way that shows the quality of human you are, addresses this ridiculous and behavior of employers, and will be helping not just you, I hope, but all the other people who have to go through this and shouldn't. Then it bites you because you're overqualified, and yet if attempting to apply for jobs one can be considered qualified, then the waiting time between the degree and applying for that jobs becomes questionable. Yet if you are unemployed, then might as well forget it too. I have a bachelor's degree in organizational management. I'm currently working a $13 short job processing tenant applications for rent assistance for a consulting firm. Why? Because I was laid off and I need to work. I was raised by a single mother who worked her ass off my whole life because she needed to. There's no shame in honest work, and the good employers will recognize the value of that. Yeah, I have found some of the hiring managers at these jobs have really big egos of their company and want experience only related to the field. I went to school for physical therapy and worked in it. I took a science-based degree which could be considered harder than coding. Some of the interviewers would look baffled, like they didn't know what physical therapy was, or they assumed firefighting was just chilling at the station all day, and look surprised when I said all the training, drills, procedures, and changing protocols and documentation standards we had to follow. Yeah, it's definitely a stupid stigma that needs to leave. Most of us, including myself, started at the bottom. I found a job in and after high school classes at 15, making $8 an hour to fund a laptop. My entire family at the time used the same PC. I grew from there in the field. Anyway, my point is to ignore that garbage, but make sure you are on the step for a later goal. 2 years of retail can land a legit position in a company. There is no shame at having a job. It is part of life, and unfortunately, college degree is not enough. You need experience, a lot of it. You should use your experience at Walmart as a tool. Add skills you learned that will elevate your worth as an employee. A lot of people even exaggerate their skills. Also, when you are looking for a new job, You have to reduce your expectation. Everybody starts at the bottom, so you got to find a job where you already have qualification and a little experience, for example, a customer service coordinator, and with time you get a better job. Or you can also find an internship finally. It takes a lot of time to find a job after graduating. I have many friends in sociology who found a job related to their education 2-3 years after they graduated. Also remember that when an employer calls you for an interview and asks questions about what you do, don't get frustrated. They just want to know more about you, and they are allowed to do so. You just have to show them why you are the best, even if you worked at Walmart. If they called you, that means they are interested or curious about you. I've been there, got a B, and then worked at Target for 4 years before being able to get a job in my field. It took me a while to realize that my resume should say more of how I impacted my store-trained team members, increased sales, and how those skills translated into the jobs I was looking for. It took a heck of a long time to figure out which skills I gained while working retail and how it translated to what I was looking for. But knowing them made interviews a lot easier. Also, I've had one family friend who completely and utterly shamed me for working at Target and insisted that I shouldn't be exhausted after working a 10-hour shift because exhaustion only comes from working real jobs.
Like and subscribe for more Reddit content. Watch the next video at the top of your screen.